Today's video is about releasing pressure and conflict and stress and tension within yourself. So this is one of the best ways to heal yourself. I'm not saying that diet isn't important. I'm not saying that nutrition, diet, sleep, fresh air, exercise, the right everything. But really, this is one of the best ways. If the needle isn't moving with just nutrition and all the other things that you're supposed to be doing right, one of the best ways that you can help heal yourself is to release tension within yourself. So whenever you notice that you are feeling tense or conflicted or stressed or anything, or you notice that you have symptoms, you're tired, you're anxious, you're depressed, you're on edge, you're frustrated, you're angry, whenever we have symptoms in our body or symptoms in our emotion that are undesirable, so they can either be physical or emotional or mental or spiritual, right? When we have undesired feelings and symptoms in our body, it's our body's way of saying, I cannot handle what's going on here, right? I cannot handle the conflict, the stress, whether it be physical or mental or emotional. And so one of the best things that you can do to help heal yourself is to continually ask yourself the question whenever you are getting an undesired symptom, when you're having a bad day, when you're having a lot of symptoms, or when you're having a lot of emotions or a lot of, negative feelings. One of the best things that you can ask yourself is, how can I release this conflict right now? How can I release the conflict inside me right now? How can I release some of this tension? How can I release and let go? How can I release this conflict? How can I release this tension? How can I release this energy, this negative energy? How can I let it go? Because if you have a headache and you're asking yourself, how can I release this tension, right? Then you might come to the answer like, I'm doing too much, I'm working too hard, I'm running around the house, or I'm arguing, or I'm in this state or that state. Maybe the answer will come to you, you need to sit, you need to relax, you need to breathe, you need to laugh, you need to do something enjoyable. Right, so these are all things we know we need to release pressure and tension and conflict in order to heal. But we forget because our days are filled with so much conflict, so much tension. They're really filled with a lot of pressure. Just from getting up and having to meet a routine, to, getting on top of dinner, to going to bed, to doing your job, to doing work, to just managing day-to-day life is filled with stress for everybody. You're not unique in that. But if you have a chronic illness, it's one of the fastest and best and deepest ways that you can help heal yourself, right? If nutrition and supplements and protocols and all the right things aren't moving the needle, then it is pressure, it is tension, it is conflict. And we need to continue to ask ourselves this all day long. How can I release this pressure? How can I release this tension? How can I resolve this conflict? What can I do to let it go? What can I do to release this tension? And you might not even think you have tension. You might not even think you have conflict. And you might not even think that you have pressure. But if you really think about it and continually ask yourself the question, you will find, oh, wow, I'm feeling some tension right now. I am feeling some conflict about something. I'm feeling pressure. Things are a little, I'm feeling like I'm in a bit of a pressure cooker, or I feel like there's tons of conflict around me. I'm feeling overwhelmed with these emotions that I'm having. I'm feeling overwhelmed with the stress and the unease and, just all of it. So it's not how can we resolve it, but it's how can we release it. Whenever we feel it, whenever we have a symptom, an emotion, we need to ask ourselves this question all day long. So I hope that you will ask yourself this question all day long, and at the end of the day, you might see some patterns, you might see some insights, and you might see that just by asking yourself the question, how can I release it? You came up with some answers, you released it, and you actually started to feel better. and this is what we want. But it's not like you can save it up and then suddenly say, oh, how can I release it? And you have to let it go through the day. You have to release it as it's happening in real time. In the morning, in the mid-morning, in the afternoon, at lunchtime. There's all these little things that pique our stress, that initiate conflict, that give us pressure and stress in our lives. And some times of day are worse than others, depending on what's going on. Like maybe your morning routine or your dinner time routine, or it is worse for you. And you might start to recognize this. But all of it can be stressful. And so it's really important that we continue to ask ourselves this question. We continue to try to release pressure, release tension, release conflict, let it go. Whether it's through breathing, sitting, forgiving, writing, journaling, walking, however we need to let that go. But we need to recognize that it's happening and then release it.